What's up guys, I am ready for Royal Base Solo. As always, here are the equipment and Digimon I'm going to be using. Made some temporary upgrades since last time, that will make us just breeze through it. Should be incredibly easy for us. But I have optimized the team so that we can use a bit less resources. Our Digimon has efficient attack, so we won't really have to use draws throughout the whole dungeon. She should still be really handy on floor 2 because of her high strength. We're just going to jump right in, so let's begin. For this video I'm going to skip through the boring stuff, me just doing battles. I'll probably show 1 or 2 battles just so you get the gist of how I defeat everything, but there's quite a few battles that I'd like to explain in this one, the reasoning between choosing the Digimon that I am using, so I'll explain my decisions and stuff in detail when I can. With our Digimon, we can actually one-hit 5 mobs here for the keys without using drills, which saves us a nice amount of money, time. We're pretty overgeared for this, so I'm not going to bother changing back to my Dyna's Crest to fight these bosses. We're just going to switch out our Apocalypse just for the provoke in case we're a bit slow. Just jump right in. I occasionally use a map here just in case I get lost. I'll put a link in the description, the map that I used for Royal Base Floor 1, probably Floor 2 as well, just in case it's helpful to anyone. Another thing to note with these guys, and just battles in general, that the higher the amount of Digimon you're killing, the higher the chances of getting a drop. That's why I switched to Ugly Boots when I remember. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. We actually we got really lucky. We got the Magnamon spawns after Alphamon. Yeah, this happened to me like 2 times in like, I don't know, the amount of times that I've run Royal Base. But yeah, pretty damn lucky. He actually hits really hard, so we'll make sure we actually put our Provoke Digimon on for this one and our Dyna's Crest just in case. Nice. Nothing special from him, but he does actually drop his special crests and jewelry. The crests are actually pretty good, so it's a nice little encounter. Right, so we made it to Omegamon. This is the last place that we can switch worlds, so if we scroll up in chat here, we can see that Craniumon has only spawned on channel 4, we're on channel 3, so we're still fine. We got slightly lucky here and got Zwart to spawn. Normally it's just normal Omegamon. You got a chance of getting a black Digitron from the sky, but not lucky this time. For those unaware of the mechanics of Floor 2, basically we get a bunch of debuffs, we can't use cards, we can't stay digivolved, and our EVP is drained at a very high rate. We're just going to work our way around the dungeon and try and get some of these debuffs off. Normally I would put Crit Candy on here, but I think since we 2-hit everything, then it's not needed. We'll just keep our Strawberry Candy on for when we get our traits back. So we skip the red cube here because that just stops the EVP from draining. We don't need to worry about that since we have EVP repairing food. So this is the yellow cube boss. It should be fairly quick to get through, and then after that we should be able to one-hit all the waves with our Darulumon, who we brought along for this purpose. The reason we use Darulumon is because he is a Rocky-only X-Rose, which means that all his stats go to his Rocky form. Normally, for example, our Medieval Dukemon only has up to level 20 stats on his Rocky, but our Darulumon has up to 117 stats on his Rocky, which means that his strength is really high as a Rocky form, so we don't have to evolve at the start of battle every time, which makes our battles pretty fast. Let's change our buffs up a bit and I'll show you guys how it works. And simple as that, we're just gonna one-shot all of these waves up until the trait cube. There we go, we've got our traits back now. Because Craniumon hasn't spawned yet, we're going to just make our way up to the evolution cube and get that. If he still hasn't spawned, we'll get the red cube as well and just wait for him to spawn and find him. Another interesting thing that I don't see any information about actually, that I actually had to discover myself, is there's 4 portals in Royal Base Floor 2 that take you to a entirely random room. They're only from the back of each of the cube rooms. For example, this portal right here takes us to a random tile. Now there's 35 total rooms in Royal Base Floor 2, and from my experiments it seems to be able to take you to literally any single one. I'm not sure if it can take you to the same room, but it can definitely take you to the boss room. So this is super interesting for speedruns, and efficiency wise it's kind of worth it after the yellow cube, because on average the amount of rooms that you'll have to traverse to get to the blue cube will be less. But there is the 1 in 34 chance of being taken straight to the Dexterugamon, which, yeah, something to keep in mind if you are into speedruns or whatever. Top tips with Lance. Nice. There we go. Craniumon spawned, so he is in one of the 35 random runs. We've got 15 minutes to find him before he despawns, which is plenty of time. So we've got all our debuffs off, like we can easily zoom through and try and find him. Yeah, we found him. So now I'm gonna change my setup a bit. What we're actually gonna do is we're gonna use our Rosamund burst mode, because the specific traits that she has that are unique to her and Kazuhamon mean that she can dodge every ranged AoE attack and ranged single target, which is all that this boss uses, and the same with the floor boss and the floor 3 boss. We're going to use her as a tank for the rest of the dungeon. I'm going to show the gear changes on screen just so you can see I'm now using Dynas Crests for the rest of the dungeon, and will buff up appropriately. Because I got 100% trait chance on our tank here, then there is not a chance that they're going to get hit. So I'm not going to worry about defensive cards. That's Craniumon done. And that's floor 2 completed. Everything from here onwards reflects like a ton of damage. Luckily we've got Absorb, so that's nullified. If you don't have Absorb here, you will literally die instantly every time you attack if you do enough damage. So we need to defeat him within 2 minutes, so by the time this time is like 55 minutes 40 or something, we need to have defeated him, because otherwise you don't get the Omegamon X boss afterwards, which we kind of want. And since we beat Xmon within 2 minutes, we've got Omegamon X. Now this is the reason that I bought a second Provoke, because he will one-shot all our Digimon. There is a small chance we can survive since we've got really tanky crests if he doesn't use his one-hit attack, but that's pretty rare. So we're just going to make sure we've got our buffs here. My strategy to use less power cards on Omegamon X is to use haste and regular attacks along with boss cards. And when we get in there, we're going to attack, and we're going to summon our second Provoke and just continue to attack. Easy. And that's the entire royal base completed. I hope you enjoyed my explanations. Next up should be water space, I believe. We're going to try and get that done before our gear expires. 4 days or so before most of this OP stuff goes away. We'll definitely try and squeeze out some of the harder dungeons. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.